it's going down, man. It's the Donnie Houston podcast. I am Donnie Houston. Check it out, man. We got a special guest today, man. We go back, man. Hey, maybe putting it down around the H for a long time in the clubs, you know what I'm saying? On that MC side, you know, doing music as well as H-Kane, you know what I'm saying? Known in the clubs as MC Kane. I talked about it on here a few times with Shay Serrano recently, you know what I'm saying? And then on the last episode with D-Lo, with Delorean about the Frontline tour and just how influential he was. And, you know, just you get us getting a whole new wave of artists, you know what I'm saying, in the H in 2010 with the Frontline series and the quote-unquote New Houston movement and all that, you know what I'm saying? But MC Kane, what's going down, man?
Man, what's up, Donnie, man?
How you feeling, dog?
I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling good. Can't lie. Dodging Rona, but I'm healthy. So.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. So, shit, what's new, man?
Man, right now, man, nothing. I'm trying to stay healthy, honestly.
Yeah.
With everything that's going on, making sure the family good, you know. And, you know, just trying to stay hustling still, really, because, you know, it's going to prove the pit bulls from the puppies right here.
Yeah.
If you can still make money in this climate. So, you know, I'm trying to stay on it on that end. But other than that, you know, growing.
Yeah.
Growing as a man. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, I mean, you've done the club MCing, you know what I mean? You've done the rap MCing. You know,
club MCing and rap MCing.
Rap MCing, because that's two different, you know,
that's
two different things, you know. When we say, you know, we talk about Frontline, you know, you've done that. What's probably been your favorite thing so far?
Honestly, I would say it would have to be the Frontline, obviously, because that was something that just I put so much effort and planning into, and you know, once you execute a plan and then see it, you know, coming to fruition, it's like that feeling is priceless, right? Yeah. It's like a baby, and you watch that baby become the president, right?
Yeah.
So I would have to say the Frontline, and just being true to myself when I do shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be nobody else. I'm not trying to, you know, please nobody. I've been fortunate to do shit in Houston the way I want to do it, and I got respect for it. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, doing Frontline, that was a little bit later on, but it was some of the things that you had done before that I think that kind of helped or even allowed you to even, you know, be in a position to put something like a Frontline together. So just talk about just the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of starting out, I guess getting into the clubs first, right?
Right. So it all started off in the clubs, obviously. But at that time, though, I was, you know, in that rapper mode. So I wanted to be a rapper. That's really what it was. Me, you know, and that was the days when you was pressing CDs and putting slips in them and going, you know, to clubs and just handing them to people. Heavy. That's when that scene was heavy. So I was like, man, I got to find a way to get my name out here, right? And that came about me saying, man, what about these clubs? How can I get in these clubs and just start hanging around influential people, get influential people to know who I am, what I want to do, yada, yada, yada. Me being an MC actually was a stroke of luck, in all honesty. Lisa Rogers, Steve Rogers, Russ Corley, they had the M-Bar downtown.
M-Bar, yeah.
Remember? Yeah. And that was pretty much the epitome of how the club scene is built now. Everybody got that model from the M-Bar on how they run things, how they do it, and, you know, all the presentation, all that shit came from M-Bar. But anyways, I went to M-Bar one night on some, what was it? It was an after party for the hip hop, what was it? Old school hip hop stars or something they had in Houston. It was something. It had MC Hammer, Kool Herc, MC Light. It was like one of them type of concerts. Me, you know, I'm a hip hop head, so I was like, I'm not missing no chance to meet Kool Herc. I'm not gonna miss that. They ended up being at the M-Bar. And they all came, and MC Light jumped on stage, and I think it was Biz Marquis or somebody. She started rapping, you know, her little, I got the mic, that kind of shit.
So at this time, you're just a club goer at this time.
Man, I was in line. I stood in line to get in that club, waited in line like everybody else, paid $40 to get in. That was when, like, I still remember that day like it was nothing. I was in line. Got in the club. Once I got in the club, I just made my way to the front because I was really trying to meet Kool Herc. That was my goal that night. I was like, I just want to meet Kool Herc, take this picture, go on about my business. MC Light rapping, Biz Marquis beatboxing. So of course, all the hip hop heads are not going nuts. We all in there going crazy, throwing our hands up, and it's just a bunch of noise. Then she told Biz to stop. She say, "Hold on, Biz, hold on. I need somebody to come up here with me and rock. One of y'all need to come out there and come on stage with me and rock." And everybody started yelling, "I want to." And you know me, I'm right there in front. I'm like, "Man, come on, I'm you guy. Come on, put me up there." I come up to the stage. She's like, "Yeah, let this guy up, man. What's your name?" And I told, my name Kane, yada, yada, yada. She's like, "Here's what I want you to do, though. I'm finna rap, but I want you to do what Biz just did. But you got to kill it or they going to boo you." And I was like, damn.
You want to beatbox? Yeah.
Damn. So I ended up beatboxing, and I'm killing it. Do all that bullshit. But she rapping to it. And then once she got done rapping, she was like, "Hey man, y'all give it up for my man. What's your name again, Kane?" She said, "Y'all give it up for Kane." Everybody started screaming. Then Lisa Rogers comes out of nowhere and was like, "Who the hell is you? What's your name? Who are you?" And I told her my name or whatever, and she was like, "You ever wanted to MC in the club? Because you cute." And that's all it took. She put me on the mic the next week.
No shit.
Swear to God, that's exactly how it happened, bro.
So who was spinning it now?
It was that night.
No,
just in general. Hasi, GT, JQ, all of those. That circle of guys was DJing in a rotation at the M-Bar, and then they had their rotation of celebrity DJs coming down. But that was primarily So I came in. This is the weirdest part about being an MC. I came in as an MC without a DJ. Like, you know how DJs normally, this my MC or this. It was like, nah. Lisa said she wanted me to be an MC, and I was like, bet. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I ain't gonna lie to you. But all it took was 2-3 weeks, and then I understood what I could do. And I just took over at that point. I just said, fuck it.
So what was the thing? What was like some of the first things you were doing in the clubs as an MC that really caught where you was like, all right, this finna be me right here.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. So, to put me on that spot, like in the hottest club in Houston history as the MC, like that's a blessing. You don't start off like that. So I started off after 2 or 3 weeks of doing that. By the first month, I was running Houston. I was in every single club 6, 7, 8, 9 times a week because everybody loved the M-Bar. So whoever was at the M-Bar, I got to have you in my club too.
And this is what year is this? Like 2007, 8?
2007. And right at the beginning of 2007. But one of the things that stuck with me was the fact that I'm already charismatic. I'm already a character naturally. So I use that to my advantage, right? So it's easy to be social in the club when you're a guy like me because I'm naturally like that. Use that to my advantage. And then on top of that, there's a side to me that's comical. Brought that out and stuck with that in. And then there's this music head junkie that is me that just, I naturally gravitate towards DJs anyway, right? So I'm listening to what you playing, how you playing it, how you spinning it, I'm listening to all that naturally anyway when I'm in the club. I'm not really there, that's my zone. That's what I do.
Right.
So I just took all of that and blended it into this MC Kane guy. And, lucky enough, the city been supporting it. Yeah. 13 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go and, what's been your favorite club so far?
Ooh, damn.
Because, I mean, you talking about starting in 2008. You've seen.
Yeah, I'd say that, bro.
Yeah.
Oh. I would still have to say M-Bar. And here's why. Because, honestly, I seen every single club from the M-Bar like mimic what the M-Bar had. I've seen every single club, hot, big, or whatever, mimic what the M-Bar did. So that tells me that's where it started from.
Would you say that Lisa Rogers and Steve Rogers are the GOAT promoters?
Yeah.
In
By
age?
far. That ain't even a question.
Huh.
Yeah, that ain't even a question. Because of the impact of just that one spot. Like, the influence is what I'm speaking on. Not necessarily their success, because they were really successful at it. But the influence. When you see the entire scene shift to mimic your operation, the entire scene, the bougie clubs, the ghetto clubs, the mixed clubs, they all mimicked MBO. All of them. From top to bottom. How you had promotions, how you had people passing out flyers, how you had bottle girls looking, how you had all of that came from MBO. And then from there, you got the other little promoters that came out of that. You know, the A-Lifes, the David Andersons and stuff like that when he was promoting. All of that stemmed around what we saw at the MBO. Yeah.
Okay, so man, so at the same time, are you rapping at the same time?
See, that's the thing. So here go the rapper, and here go the MC nigga. So I'm still rapping because that was my passion at the time. And I'm like, and I'm a lyrical nigga. So it's different, right? Because, you know, I process things different because I'm a lyricist. So when I'm in the club hearing all this club shit, people like, especially my brother, like, bruh, that ain't even you. Like, nigga, that ain't even you. But I had to figure it out quick. I was like, if this the music we gonna be playing, I gotta understand this music a little better. So I made that my focus to make sure I understood the type of music that was in the clubs. But at the same time, I'm putting out music and putting out songs, and people like, you got bars. Like, bars, nigga, what the fuck is you doing MCing in the club? And that's when I throw my hands up. I'm like, nigga, I ain't gonna lie to you. This MCing stuff took off in my face. I didn't know what to do with it other than take off, right? And I'm still rapping. I'm still putting out music. But slowly but surely, that MC nigga just... And he took off. And then at that point, I was MC Kane. So I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. So how do you, around this time, how do you start meeting each guy for who ended up being a part of like Frontline and all that?
Well, don't forget, you remember I had the Union.
Yeah, the Union, yeah.
So
sure.
that was a project put together by Akim in the mix.
Oh, no shit.
Yes, Akim put us together.
No shit.
Akim put us together. He was the first person, because he one of them dudes too. You know, he New York, Tim's, and he wanted to hear bars. So he was one of them niggas like, okay, all y'all niggas walking around in the club always rapping. Why don't y'all just get together and rap? And he put us together. He put us all together on the first project we dropped, which was called In the Mixtape. Real clever, but we put that together, and our chemistry was just, I still can't believe to this day how our chemistry was that good. It didn't take long for us to knock out 100 songs because we was just, you know, in sync that much. But so at that time, I'm like, okay, good. Now I can get back in this rap shit heavy, right? Akim executive produced the first project, which is the In the Mixtape. After I saw the level of influence and the level of success we got marketing wise, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take over the rest of this. You know, and do what I know how to do now that I've been in the clubs 2-3 years. I know how to move. So I took over the next two projects we did with the Union and executive produced them, did the marketing, I even did damn flyers. I mean, the album covers. I designed all that shit. I did beats on the album. I was doing every damn thing. And that led to me saying, well, wait a minute, let's do a show. So it was the Union that led to the Frontline, really, because I did the Frontline for us, for all, because we were all, you know, separate entities in our own, but come to get together collectively. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this show called the Frontline Tour, and I'm gonna bring a couple of our homies in, but it's gonna be our show. It's gonna be me.
No shit.
Yeah.
Because y'all went last.
Yeah.
I remember y'all went last.
Mm-hmm. We all went, of course I ended it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all led up to, if you remember it, it was O before me, then Fourth and Inches, then D-Rec, and then I had the Propains and all that. So I did it for us. But I said I want to use the show for marketing purposes more. I was really on some marketing stuff, not trying to make some money, because I thought I could put a whole lot of people together to network and find out who my niggas was, because I'm in that circle now to where I can bring my circle to the underground. So I was like, I'm not probably the only person that could pull this out for that reason. I ended up having every person associated with media at the first Frontline tour because they were so.
And that was somewhere on the west.
Yeah,
or something,
man. I rented a building. what was it at? The Blue Door. It was called the Blue Door.
It was somewhere.
Yeah. It was off of West Tom and Wilcrest, I believe. But I just rented the building because I wanted to be so far away from the norm. I did not want to do what everybody else was doing. Warehouse Lives. I didn't. I was like, no, if I'm going to do this, I got to do it my way. Rented that place out. We sold that bitch out. Ticket-wise, we sold that bitch out. And then on top of that, had a walk-up of like 200 people. And this is a place that probably could just hold 200 people. We ended up having like 600 people in there. In and out. So I'm like, damn, the fuck?
But before this, though, wasn't there like some big session or some shit like that? Wasn't there some session that went down?
That was for my album, The Curfew. That was before I dropped The Curfew.
Okay. Yeah, see, we talking about some shit. This is my era now. You know what I'm saying? Now we in my era of this Houston shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah.
So this is what I did. So, I ended up putting all of them on one track. I know that's what you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So I put them all on one track because, like I said, at the time, that was my mind frame. I was like, I'm the only guy at that time.
But this was before Frontline, though, right?
This was,
Yeah.
Well, technically, yeah. Technically, it was before Frontline because I was still recording for The Curfew at that time. So I was already in contact with everybody because everybody really knew who I was. They was like, man, this MC nigga, this Kane nigga, he really fuck with us, bro. Like for real. And ain't nobody paying attention to our style of music. Ain't nobody paying attention to it. But this nigga Kane that's in the clubs is really fucking with us. So I was like, and I'm going to keep doing that. And I'm going to show people that they need to pay attention to this side of Houston. I had I had everybody on that damn song. I think it was like 15 rappers on that damn song. And Lace got it to this day. I told him just hold on to it. We're going to put it out.
Yeah, it never came out.
I never put it out. Because it's it's long than a bitch. But I wanted that for a reason, really for my archive. But you name them, they all on there. I even put Power Wall on there. I put Power Wall on there, though.
Power Wall was on the first Frontline with C Stone, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and it worked out perfect because it did exactly what I thought it would do, which was bring everybody from that circle of people that I was in at that time to the underground. I brought them all. And they saw it, and it was, damn, oh yeah? So we really got this kind of talent out here. I told y'all niggas. I was like, I told you. You know, they ain't got to go to the studio and sit in the studio and try to make a club song to get your attention. I was like, nah, we ain't finna do all of that. They really are talented ass kids. They talented. So that's how that came about. And then it went to the first and second and third Frontline after that.
Wait. You went to the first, second, and third. Yeah, I thought the first one was at the Blue Door.
The first one was at the Blue Door.
Right.
Then the second and third one was
at for sure.
Second and third one was at House of Blues.
But see, the thing about it too was that was dope, and it was like that whole thing of like, oh, it's this new group of talent. But then it got this whole new Houston talk, and that came with a lot of. And truth be told, you know what I'm saying. And you know, me and D-Lo have talked about it, a couple others, but it's like, dog, we really were unknown. You know what I mean? Like that brought a whole lot of people together because truth be told, everybody pro D-Lo, everybody had if you ain't have my phone number, if you ain't have our phone number, anybody, you probably ain't know we did music. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, that's facts.
But it was straight up I saw it. I can't speak for everybody, but I can say us for sure. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely. Facts.
What we were doing for a fact. You know what I'm saying? And shit. Called up people, and that's how you got people, you know what I'm saying? They got everybody in their crowds together. We got the mixing fans, and that shit really created the industry. But then we get the new Houston talk, like I was saying. Man. And that came with so much backlash, dog, from everywhere.
Everybody, bro. And I mean, luckily, you know, I've talked to all of them now and squashed all this shit. But it was bad, bro. They really was trying to hang a nigga. Like, for real, there's videos on YouTube right now.
Yeah, right now, you can still go.
And I'm like, I get a diss song, nigga? Damn, you know? But it was bad. But a lot, you know, these youngsters now obviously don't know the catalyst, what started the industry to pay attention to them. It was that movement, that whole movement, 2010, 2011, that we said, fuck y'all, really, and just said, no, y'all gonna pay attention to us and we gonna make y'all. But then that's when, you know, I had, you know, the OGs and like, fuck that new Houston shit. And go, fuck you, Kane. What the fuck is you? You ain't representing this Houston shit, nigga. I'm like, really, bro? Really? You finna come to the club and try to charge me up over this shit, bro?
Oh, niggas was coming to the club trying to talk about that, because I mean, I only see the online shit or maybe some of this if I'm there to see it for myself, but
man, it was bad, bro. Like, I remember one time I was in the club and a nigga walked up to me and say, "Why you shooting slugs at the SUC?" I couldn't do nothing but shake my head. I really couldn't do nothing but like, huh? What? He was like, "Nah, that's Then he showed his tat. He had a tat, said something, and then it had SUC in it. I was like, bro, I ain't never said nothing bad about nobody.
This was
in
a
the
fan,
studio.
or this was somebody
This
who
was a random dude.
Yeah.
Just a random dude. But he was serious. I could see it in his eyes. He was real serious. I was like, bro, I ain't never said nothing about the SUC. So let me educate you right quick before you come up and try to do some dumb shit and some shit happened. We both end up in jail some damn way. I was like, no, bro, you got to understand what I'm doing. My job is to expose these niggas. I ain't never said nothing bad about it. I'm just putting light on somebody else. Yada, 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 yada. He's like, well, no, that ain't what the street's saying. Street saying, you out here saying, fuck Screw, fuck SUC. You on some, we gonna do this our way, fuck everybody else type shit. Well, yeah, I'm gonna do it my way, but I ain't saying fuck y'all. I'm never gonna say that to people that paved the way for me. I'm never gonna do no shit like that. But it went as far as like I would name the rappers, but I don't want to put them out there like that because these real OGs that we respect, we admire. I don't want to say it, but you can look it up on YouTube if you do some research. But they was on my ass, bro. Like I was taking buckshots, bro. I was taking real buckshots, and I made sure that everybody that was on my front lines didn't know about it. Like I didn't want those artists to know what I was going through because I wanted them to stay focused, and they didn't. They didn't know about it until they all started seeing it on Twitter and all of that. It's like, why didn't you tell us some niggas? Like, bro, that ain't what it's about. It's about y'all getting on that stage and getting some fans. That's all it's about with me, bro.
Yeah. Nah, that was it. So then we go in it moved from the Blue Door, and then we go to the Peacock Room in the House of Blues. You know what I mean? And that's when Kirko was on that one.
And Kirko was on that one. So the House of Blues, Peacock, we did 1,000 in and out. That was crazy.
And this was before Kirko, y'all knew about Kirko. Like,
yeah. This is Kurt Cobain's the aspiring rapper.
Yeah.
The aspiring rapper trying to get a deal rapper.
That was What Your Name Is might have just came out or something.
What Your Name Is was I think it had maybe 10,000-12,000 views on YouTube at that time. But clearly that song was a hit. As soon as I heard it, I knew it was a hit.
Facts.
So really that's what put him on the front line. Because I promise you, I've never heard that song before he auditioned. Kirko was the only one that auditioned for the front line off of that front line too.
No shit.
All the rest of them were handpicked by me, but Kirko auditioned. So I had an audition. I don't know if you knew this.
Nah, because we was already in there.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you was already in that. You're right. But I had literally had auditions for the front line.
This was for Frontline 2? Or when
Frontline 2.
No shit.
I swear to God. At the, what's the Midtown Lounge? Yeah, Midtown Lounge. So this is what I did. So I had Nikki, Polo. You know Polo.
Yeah.
And I think it was one more guy, just some label people. But I had them do the judging. I had them judging, right? And then I put it on Twitter. I was like, look, I'm having auditions for one more slot on the Frontline tour. And Kurt Cobain showed up to that hoe with D Will. You guys D Will. With his box of CDs. He was working. Like the nigga came up there to work. And you know me, I'm looking at all of that. So he up there with his CDs, passing out his CDs. I'm looking at all the rest of the rappers in line, seeing what they doing, how they holding themselves. And it was about 20, 30 rappers showed up. I gave them all like a minute and a half. Get in front of the judges. Do your thing. Right? Go through the list. Kirko grabbed that microphone, and as soon as that beat dropped, and he said, "What your name?" I cut the beat off. Nah, come on, you good? I got him. Yeah, that's a hit. I heard it. I was like, that's a hit. Period. And Nikki was like, "Yup," and Polo was like, "Yup." Get him on the front line. And that was it.
And he was out of there right after.
He was out of there right after that. And I told him and D Will, I said, "Yeah, I'll be putting y'all on the show. You're gonna have your own slot. Yada yada yada." The real difference though with how I ran the front line and how everybody else was doing shows was I actually ran it like a real corporate business. I had meetings with them guys every week. I set up meetings with them, dinner meetings with them, so they can let me know what they were doing, what their progress was on selling the tickets, if they needed any help. I did that every single week with every single rapper until we dropped the show. Every single week I had a meeting with every single one of them just to see what they was, if they needed any help. And because I knew they needed to be nurtured in that fashion. We was all grinding, you know, right? But I knew my experience from what I'm doing in the clubs, I got to pass that on. So that show was successful for that reason. It was just the execution. The plan was there, yeah, but it was the execution. I stuck to my plan flawlessly. I did not let up. I was like, nope, we're going to meet with the guys. We're going to help them out if they need help with their ticket sales, all of that. We're going to do all of that. And I had a team of like 3 or 4 people, and they grinded it out with me.
So, okay, you were saying, you know, Kirko was the only one that auditioned.
Yeah.
Everybody else was handpicked. So how did you know everybody else that was on there?
Okay, good question. So after Frontline 1, obviously Propain. I've been knowing Propain. Man, it's that he family. I'm going to just put it like that. Propain is family. D-Lo, I've been knowing D-Lo. We've been knowing each other for about 20 years. You know, I don't know if he said anything, so I'm gonna just keep it to myself. But I've been knowing D-Lo for a very long time. And C-Stone, that's a given. You know, I was already fucking with C-Stone in the clubs and all of that crap, so that came. But the rest of the guys, that was me being me and being a fan of the underground scene in Houston. Because, you know, at that time, that's when it was right, bro. It was like everybody was just so talented.
And it was right on point with what everything was going on with, you know, that's when Cole and Kendrick and all them, and it was right on, the music was right in pocket with all that shit. Yeah.
I don't know what it was about that time in the world, but that time was just a beautiful time, bro. I had Escobar, yeah. And he's still probably one of the dopest lyricists I've ever heard out of Houston. I can say that with confidence. D-Lo, Propain, Kirko.
Was Marcus Manchild on there or not?
Marcus Manchild was on Frontline 3. He was on 3. 2 was really like a pot of gumbo. I had 2 singers. Remember, I had Natoya. And I had, what is her name? Alicia James?
Alicia James, yeah.
That's her name? Yeah. I had Alicia James, and they were real authentic singers. They had bands with them. Like, that's what I wanted to do for that one. Because what I didn't want the artist to know was I'm basically setting up 3. I knew I was going to do it again, so I knew I had to use this one to set up the next one. So I said, this one has to be a melting pot. This has to be a gumbo pot.
And it was packed in there.
Bro. In and Out Clicker said over 1,000 people, bro.
No shit.
The Clicker In and Out was 1,000 people. That's crazy for the Bronx, bro. Can't put 100 people in the Bronx Peacock. So I'm thinking like 1,000 people came to see rappers that nobody knew. Like, you just got to call a spade a spade. Nobody.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Nobody knew them, so they all came, and not only did they come, now the label started coming. So now you got reps from Warner Brothers in there. Now you got 300. You got Celine and his people in there. And they see Kirko. And that's where that deal came from Frontline 2. From Frontline 2. And all of those guys, I'm still cool with to this day. Me and Celine still got a relationship. RIP, I think, Money Mark.
Money Mark, yeah.
And D Will, obviously, that's my dog. But it all came from that show. Like Kirko, if Kirko didn't perform that night in front of them, that deal wouldn't have happened with Warner Brothers. Because they got him from that night. 2 weeks later, he was signed. 2 weeks later.
Damn. Okay. So then we go on to 3, and that's when we on the main stage now.
We on the big stage. Now.
Yeah.
Right. So we on the big stage now, mainly because that was the plan from the jump anyway. You know, my deal with the House of Blues and Live Nation was, we gonna see, right? They just want to see if it was gonna work. So after 2, and they looked at the clicker, you know, they looked at the business side of it. They was like, okay, cool, you know, we'll let you do the big room. But what had to transpire in order for me to get that big room is real business, bro. Like, people don't understand how hard it is to do shit like that, and especially when it's just you. Bro, I had negotiation after negotiation. I had to call my political connects. Like, it was real, bro. Like, I had to really put in work to get that big room because it's so prestigious, right? You know, it's legendary people who have legendary shows at the House of Blues, right? So they took a gamble with me. It was like, well, I'm going to put a bunch of people don't nobody know on the stage like this, in this platform. You know, it took a lot of convincing, a lot of selling, but I got it done. And when I got it done, that's when I pulled the guns out. I was like, all right, we finna make a real show. I'm finna put together a real live ass show. So then I started getting everybody. I went and got the nice guys. I went and got B King. I went and got DJ Chose. I got Kirko. I had Pro. I had D-Lo. I was like, oh, that's it. I'm good now, right? I had my bro. I had my guys. So I was like, you know what, y'all? This is the time for y'all to, and I had the last meeting I had with all of them was like, this is the time for y'all to do a show, and every song has to be something you consider a banger. So that your
remember that meeting? That might have been at like Dave and Buster's over there, if I'm not mistaken, or some shit.
Yeah, Dave and Buster's. That's what we had that meeting.
Yeah.
Damn sure was.
Yeah.
And you gotta, every song y'all better do, y'all gotta project that energy on that stage and just leave it out to dry. Dante Higgins, who I didn't bring up earlier, Dante Higgins been with me from the jump when it came to the front lines, and that was generally because I was a fan. I was really, I'm still a fan of his and the way he carries himself and his music and his skill set. So Dante Higgins was on all three, you know, and he's a perfect example of somebody nobody had their eyes on, but once you saw his talent and once you heard what he was doing, his fan base grew, and that's all they need sometimes. It's just, you know, being placed in the right spot, and then they'll flourish. And he was a prime example of that. And after three, we did over 1,000 in 3 too. We did over 1,000 tickets sold. But more importantly, I had vendors. That was when I introduced that to the game. You know, like doing shows and having vendors pull up, and pay for their space,
getting their booths and shit.
Yeah. And that worked out tremendously. I didn't expect it to be that big of a deal, but it worked out perfect because of the buzz that came from Frontline 2. So people was ready to say, nah, I want a spot. I got to get there. I got to sell my T-shirts. Oh, I want a spot. I got to get there. Okay, fine. We get all that together. We got all that together. And that ended up being 2 different labels came to the Frontline 3. Interscope and Warner was at his time. I kept it out of everybody's. I didn't tell nobody. I didn't want to tell nobody because I wanted them to genuinely hear these people. And, you know, after the show, they was like, you on to something. For real. You need to do this in San Antonio. Like, no. I'm not going out of, I'm not going to just make this like because honestly at that time, I couldn't, right? You know, I'm still a man and a father, you know, behind all of this. So I'm like, I can't do this shit out of, you know, because one, I'm in the corporate world. So it's my mindset is different and I got to go to work. So, but they was trying to push me, the Live Nation was trying to push me to do a San Antonio show, a Dallas show. Yeah, they was trying to push me.
With that city's talent or with
with that city's talent. They wanted me, they really wanted me to go like spend a month and a half studying the scene in each of these cities. They was going to be a partner with me. It was going to be 50-50. But they wanted me to do this within a course of like 6 months. So I was supposed to do 2 shows, one in San Antonio, one in Dallas, within 6 months. Meaning I was going to have to move to San Antonio for about a month and a half, you know, get my stuff together, get a show together, do that show, go to Dallas, do the exact same thing. I was like, I know, no, that's not happening, you know. And the only reason why I said no, because I still consider it a dumb decision, honestly, because I should have made the leap. But the real reason why I didn't was because of how successful I am in the corporate world. I'm not, you know, this is 20 years in the making. I'm good, right? I'm noticing my career is flourishing. I cannot drop that. You can't do shit like that. That's stupid. So I was like, no, because I'm doing too good on that end. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just continue to, you know, do my thing in Houston. But they offered it. They offered a whole deal, 50-50 deal, Live Nation.
Okay, so then I mean, shit, Frontline 3 ended up being the last Frontline. So
yep.
What happened with that? Because it was just like, man, you know, that was it. And of course, you know, other people were popping up doing shows, and you know, the scene was starting to build a little bit more and this and that. But you know, that was like the last one. You know.
Yeah, it was the last one really because I guess I was exhausted. I'm not gonna lie to you. Most people, and I've had conversations before with people, and they're like, "Were you just afraid of how they came at you about it, or you know, because they was trying to kill you with the new Houston shit? Was that it?" I was like, "It didn't have nothing to do with any of that. I was burnt out. Like the amount of effort and time I put into those 3 shows burned me out. because I saw that was when I woke up to see how much work you really have to put in to be successful at stuff like that. That's real. Like, I respect promoters more now. I respect that grind so much heavier now, because I'm a Leo, so I'm already alpha. So I'm not trying to partner up with nobody. You know what I mean? That's just this little stubborn wrong part of me. It's not good, but I didn't take on but one partner. Like, I was like, that's it. That's all I need. I need a marketing partner, and I'm gonna run the show operationally. But that means I have to do all the work. Right. So it wasn't nothing that I haven't seen before, because in all honesty, this is exactly what I do in the corporate world. You know what I'm saying? At my job right now, I have 3 different teams around the world that report to me. One in Japan, one in Taiwan, and another in Wisconsin. But these teams are teams of 50 plus people, right? And I talk to these people daily, weekly, monthly, you know, about operating our business. And it's for $1 billion company. So this is right up my alley. But at the same time, I'm doing it with people who don't know this side of the game. So I'm basically teaching people how to structure organization and all of that to people who not even in that realm.
Right.
So that's what burned me out quick, because you're talking to people who want to be successful so bad, but they want to jump to it rather than work for it. Right. And that's 90% of all rappers, right? You got a talent, you got a gift, you believe that you should be there.
You want to be on tomorrow. Yeah.
And that's what, and I don't knock it. I never knocked them for it, because I know. So I was like, it just got bad, bro. It got like to the point where I was in the hospital.
No shit.
I went to the hospital, bro, and got treated for exhaustion. That didn't even make sense to me. Like, I was like, this is weird, because I actually fainted. Here's what happened. So I was at the club, go on my way to the club, rather. And I started feeling lightheaded. But this was right after I had just had I think a meeting with everybody on Frontline 3. And that meeting was like 4 hours long. And I didn't get no sleep the night before because of what I was planning with Live Nation. So I was just out of there. So on my way to the club, I started feeling real lightheaded. Get to the club, get to the parking lot, park the car. And then I was like, something wrong. And I didn't get out the car. I just sat there. And as soon as I opened that door to get up and stand up, I fell out. Fell out and fainted. And next thing you know, I woke up. Lisa Rogers. This was at the club. Lisa Rogers ended up coming to the hospital. They took me to the hospital. But coming to the hospital and staying up there with me, High C was there, and it was like, bro, you just fainted. And then the doctor was like, your blood pressure is sky high. Have you been sleeping? That kind of, they go through that little thing. And I was like, man, no. I've been on some other stuff right now. He was like, you need to chill. And I took that serious. I took that to heart. So I was like, I'm going to chill for a minute. But then that minute became, I ain't doing this no more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, real talk.
Damn. Okay, so still at the same time, though, because it's really like a whole little scene going on outside of just the music. You got Aztecas going on.
Bruh.
Which was this whole thing within itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that Aztecas on Mondays, man. Bruh. On a Monday.
Damn Monday.
First day of the week.
Oh, damn Monday.
Yeah.
But see, in that in itself, Aztecas was a phenomenon just like Frontline was. At that time, and it was at the same time, so don't forget, I was doing Aztecas when we did Frontline. Aztecas was my baby. So I'm planning that. I'm booking tables. I'm putting all that together. I'm doing that on top of doing the Frontlines all together. And that's why I just got burnt out, bro. I just got burnt out. But Aztecas in itself, people tell me to this day that spot put them on at whatever they doing in life right now. Like, I've had people come up to me. I say, what do you do? And they like, well, I work for such and such now. But it was because we met at Azteca. Like, these just regular people, right? Not to mention Ken, of course.
Ken, right.
But just regular people. Just like, man, I met such and such at Aztecas, and now I'm doing this. Or I met such and such. Swear to God, bro. I was like, it was a phenomenon. It clearly was. Because I don't see how we did that every Monday for that long in that part of Houston.
Yeah, right.
That part. But that's when I did the interview with Shay for Aztecas. I did a couple of interviews with Shay about what I was doing at that time and how impactful it was. But the Aztecas interview we did, well, it wasn't even an Aztecas interview. He came to Aztecas to do the interview. And I think that's when I realized, I was like, I had to take a step back and was like, damn, I'm doing some shit. Like I really, after that interview, I was like, I must be doing some shit. These motherfuckers is really coming to interview me and shit for papers. And because when you are the kind of businessman I am, that you blind all of that. You just, you stick to what you're trying to execute and you execute it. And then after that, you go to the next one and then you build it and you plan to execute. So by the time I sat back and was like, damn, bro, like this shit is real. Like this is crazy. I had to soak it all in, but that made me real humble, even more than I already am, because that means this was divinity. This was supposed to happen. Right? It was right. It was supposed to. I can't brag about, yeah, I made it happen or I did. This was supposed to happen if it's all happening this well.
Yeah. I mean, and of course, Ken, you know what I'm saying?
Ken.
Hey, man, Hollywood star now. I had him on here. He be on the show, man. Shout out to Ken Boyd, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Used to be Ken to the fool back then, though. And we'll be in there tripping every week, every Monday.
That's funny, bro.
Yeah.
Ken to the fool. Ken Boyd, yeah, he's basically a little brother. And he's O&E. You know, O&E and him, they real. I think they best friends, but grew up together as best friends, right? So I'm seeing my little brother's friends as my little brothers. That's how I treat them. Because if you fuck with my brother, that's all that matters to me. You know what I'm saying? Just ride for my brother and you're good. So they all together, and I'm looking at them like little brothers. But Ken was always the one that was just funny. He was just a little funny dude, you know? And I was like, I just said to myself, I was like, since I had a lot on my plate, I don't need to be hosting Aztecas every Monday. I got too much going on. I got to run the whole operation. I can't be doing it like this. So I said, I got to get somebody ready to do this so I can handle the business. Lo and behold, it's somebody that I consider a little brother. And it ain't somebody just randomly that just happened to want to be a comedian, that just happened to fit exactly what I was trying to do. Divinity, bro. I'm telling you, I think all of this stuff happened. Just it was supposed to happen. But he took it and ran with everything. Like he was such a student, though. That's what people don't give him credit for. I don't think he gets a lot of credit for that, of how much of a student he is. He's great and always learning. You know what I mean? Like he's really good at what he does, but he always will sit down and want to learn how to be better. And with that, when he was hosting, he was like, I ain't never did no shit like this. And I was like, just trust me when I say, do you. And I'll guide you through the rest. Just do you and I'll guide you through the rest. Once he's, and that's all MCs. Once you get that microphone in your hand, the power of that microphone, bro, is a motherfucker. So he caught it and ran with it. And, he ended up meeting Tony Rock at the Aztecas. And that's, the rest is history, Bruh, like I still shake my head to this day about all this shit. Because the chain reaction at most of the shit I've done, if you look at the chain reaction from it, like literally, Pro's chain reaction, D-Lo's chain reaction from all of that, from just them little moments, they all flourished. You know what I mean? I don't think that's ever been done.
I don't know. But I know this, man, that if it wasn't for that, shit, ain't no telling, you know what I mean? Because like I said, for a fact, bro, like we was just doing shit in the neighborhood, all of us. Well, I don't know, like I said, I don't know everybody's story, but I know us for a fact. We was just doing shit in the neighborhood, bro.
Right. And we was comfortable doing it. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, we was comfortable doing that. But I was that bridge, and I knew I had to be the sacrificial goat. I knew I had to stop rapping. I knew it. It was me saying, nah, stop. And you see clearly what you're doing is bigger than you. I clearly saw, bright as day that it was bigger than me. So I left that alone to divert my energy towards building this Frontline shit and building a culture. And the shit worked out, bro. You got... But I think the one thing that worked out with us, with the way we were thinking at the time, we was all fans of each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
We was all fans
That's
of
a fact.
each other.
Everybody was listening to everybody's shit. Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
was not trying to say, oh, fuck that nigga.
Yeah.
We was literally, oh, that
Yeah.
nigga pro. Nigga, did you see D-Lo, did you see what he just? We was all like that and listening to our shit, doing what we do. We wasn't trying to do what nobody else was doing. We created a culture. It was a real live.
That shit was a real scene, bro. Like we ain't had a scene like that since, man. The scene ain't been like that since. Since that, 2010, 11.
Yep.
After that, it was.
Yeah, after 11, and then in the 12, it died.
Yeah, shit dried up.
The newer generation is different, obviously. So that it's gonna require somebody to do what I did to that generation. You're gonna have to study them. You're gonna have to be a part of them. You're gonna have to be a fan of them, and then sacrifice to make it happen for them guys. Everybody been telling me to bring it back, bring the Frontline back, Kane, but it's a whole different climate, and that's gonna take. I could, because I have a whole different. I've already drawn up another plan for another Frontline, but it's totally different from how I ran the first Frontlines. I wanted to partner with. I don't want to say it because I don't want to put that energy out there and then it gets shut down. But I wanted to partner with a specific partner. To put the Frontline in every high school in Houston, and I was going to use the high schools. So if I do it anything like that, that's how it's going to be. It's not going to be like I did it at First and 10. It's going to be me reaching out to the kids. I want to talk to them. So
that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well, shit. Other than that, man, what else you got? Playing for the future, man?
Man. At this point, becoming a successful, silent investor. I want to be an investor that don't nobody even know I'm, doing. I don't want to be that guy that people know I own this or own that. I would really want to be like, you don't know what I do, nigga. Kind of like what 50 do. You see how 50 is really just want everybody to look at him as 50 Cent?
Yeah.
He's not just 50 Cent.
Right, of course.
Like, this nigga is ridiculously talented. But he gets away with it because of his persona. He displays himself as just that, so that keep him out of that realm of being held accountable like he a mogul. But that's me. That's what I want to do. And just continue to shed a light on people who deserve it in the city and people who I think should get it in the city. But still hustling, still me.
Yeah. Speaking of that, who you rocking with right now as far as what on the up and coming side?
Out of Houston.
Yeah, out the city for sure.
Okay. I'm definitely rocking with Sauce.
Yeah.
Rizzo, my dog. I'm from the North, so it's a lot of distinct talent. I think his name is Ashton Travis.
I think I know you're talking about, yeah.
That's over there with Chase Beenham.
Yeah.
Don Toliver, of course.
Don Toliver, yeah.
Shout out Don Toliver too. He was one of the ones too that's got a whole story on him. But anyways, but it's like Don was one of them ones coming to the clubs with DJ McDaniels. DJ McDaniels, if you don't know McDaniels, he's a DJ in Houston, a young DJ in Houston that's really talented at DJing, and has a real ear for music. He reminds me of me in a whole lot of ways. But he kept telling me about this guy named Don Toliver. You need to listen to him. And it was really McDaniels that was taking them bullet holes for Don Toliver because he was playing his music in prime time in the club. He was spinning Don Toliver when nobody knew who he was. And the promoters was like, why do you keep doing that? Stop. They like, we gonna fire you if you don't. He's like, fuck y'all. Right? He like, this nigga is talented. Y'all gonna hit it. And now look.
You gotta play that nigga.
You gotta play that nigga now. Right. But that's, I brought that up to say Don is a prime example of somebody who was grinding way before people think he got on with Travis. He had already been fucking with Cheddar. Cheddar is manager.
Yeah.
So he was already putting in that work, just nobody in the city knew of it. But once, the scene got a hold of him and then he got with Travis, obviously you see his talent. That's undeniable. But yeah.
That's what's up. But
Yes,
you were saying future plans though.
Say it again.
Future plans.
Future plans.
Yeah.
So hopefully, and I got a couple of things I'm working on investment wise that should start in 2021. Obviously, I'm not going to divulge what those things are, but that's really what I'm focused on. I just want to be a silent investor in some things.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is, man. I appreciate you coming through, you know what I mean? Appreciate you setting up that Frontline, you know what I mean, which kicked off a whole lot of careers, you know what I'm saying?
No problem.
Artists and DJs and producers and, people like myself and just, man, just a whole new scene in the H, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Bro, I need a beat.
I got you.
Tell me something.
I got you.
Because everything I done heard from your ass, I have yet to hear something that I didn't consider fire.
Man, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Y'all see some shit.
But yeah, that's it. Just me. Y'all see me out here on the scene. I'm still out here on the scene, still doing me. Bump into me, take a shot with me.
All right, that's what it is, man. It's Donnie Houston Podcast, MC Kane. We out.